Tonight, when the sun goes down, you'll flip a switch, and your room will instantly fill with light. It feels so ordinary that we rarely think about it, but for almost 99.9% of human history, that switch didn't exist. As soon as the sun disappeared below the horizon, the world was swallowed by complete darkness. In many places, people couldn't even see their own hands in front of their faces. For nearly 300,000 years, our ancestors spent half of their lives in this natural darkness. They had no electricity, and for most of history, they didn't even have candles. Their only sources of light were the moon, the stars, and the precious fires they struggled to keep alive. This raises an incredible question. What did humans actually do during all those long, dark hours? The answer reveals the origins of our sleep patterns, storytelling, culture, and civilization itself. One of the greatest turning points in human history was the discovery of fire. Archaeological evidence from Wehr Cave in South Africa suggests that humans controlled fire around 1 million years ago. Fire wasn't just a source of warmth, it completely transformed human life. Before fire, humans lived much like other animals. As soon as night arrived, they climbed trees or hid in sheltered places because moving around in the dark was extremely dangerous. Predators like leopards, hyenas, and wolves could see much better at night than humans. Darkness meant vulnerability and survival depended on staying hidden. Fire changed everything. A campfire created a protective circle roughly 30 feet in diameter where most predators were unwilling to enter. Inside the firelight, people were relatively safe. Outside that circle, however, danger still lurked in the darkness. Fire also gave humans something they had never possessed before: extra time. Without fire, the useful part of the day ended at sunset, but fire extended the day by 2 to 4 additional hours every evening. Those extra hours became some of the most important hours in human history because they allowed people to do much more than simply survive. In 2014, anthropologist Polly Wiesner studied the Jew/Huansi Bushmen of the Kalahari Desert, one of the last hunter-gatherer societies still living in a way similar to our ancestors. She discovered a fascinating difference between daytime and nighttime conversations. During the day, nearly 80% of conversations were practical. People discussed hunting, gathering food, solving daily problems, making plans, and managing resources. Their conversations were focused on survival. At night, however, everything changed. Around the campfire, approximately 81% of conversations became stories, myth, adventures, jokes, distant places, legends, and explanations about the origins of the world. Elders passed down wisdom, children learned important lessons, and entire communities strengthened their social bonds. Scientists believe the campfire became humanity's first classroom, first theater, first place of worship, and first university. Around those fires, humans developed language, imagination, morality, traditions, and culture. Storytelling became one of the foundations of civilization. Night also changed the way humans slept. Today, we believe healthy sleep means 7 or 8 uninterrupted hours. But for thousands of years, humans naturally slept in 2 separate phases. Historian Roger Ekirch spent 16 years studying ancient documents and discovered more than 500 historical references describing first sleep and second sleep. People would go to bed shortly after sunset, sleep for about 4 hours, wake naturally for 1 or 2 hours, and then return to sleep for another 4 hours until sunrise. This wasn't insomnia. It was the normal human sleep pattern for centuries. The quiet period between the 2 sleeps was known as the watch. During this peaceful time, people reflected on their dreams, prayed, meditated, studied, wrote journals, planned their future, visited neighbors, or simply lay quietly thinking. A 16th century physician even suggested that this was the ideal time for couples to conceive children because both body and mind were deeply relaxed. Modern science later confirmed this ancient pattern. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Wehr conducted an experiment in which volunteers lived for an entire month without any artificial light. Within just a few weeks, every participant naturally returned to the same ancient sleep schedule. About 4 hours of sleep, 1 to 3 hours of quiet wakefulness, followed by another 4 hours of sleep. No one instructed them to sleep this way. Their bodies simply returned to their natural biological rhythm. Wehr also discovered that during the wakeful period, participants produced unusually high levels of prolactin, a hormone associated with deep relaxation, meditation, emotional calmness, and peaceful reflection. Many participants described this period as one of the most tranquil mental states they had ever experienced. It wasn't ordinary wakefulness, but a unique state of consciousness that modern people rarely experience today. So what caused this natural sleep pattern to disappear? The answer is artificial light. Beginning in the 1600s, cities started installing street lamps. Candles became cheaper, gas lamps spread across town, and in 1879, Thomas Edison popularized the electric light bulb. Within just a few generations, humans no longer depended on the setting sun. Nights became brighter, people stayed awake longer, and the natural 2-phase sleep pattern gradually disappeared. Even the word curfew comes from the French phrase couvre-feu, meaning cover the fire. Every evening, bells rang throughout medieval towns to remind people to cover or extinguish their fires because nighttime was meant to remain dark. Today, most people people spend 7 to 8 hours after sunset surrounded by artificial lighting. Smartphones, televisions, computers, and LED lights emit blue light that suppresses the production of melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating sleep. When bright light reaches your eyes at 11 p.m., your brain interprets it as daylight. As a result, melatonin production is delayed, sleep becomes fragmented, and your natural circadian rhythm is disrupted. Researchers have also discovered that people who spend just 1 week camping without artificial light experience dramatic change. Their melatonin cycles shift nearly 2 hours earlier, allowing their bodies to synchronize once again with the natural sunset and sunrise. This raises an important question. When someone wakes up at 2 or 3 in the morning today, we usually call it insomnia. But what if it isn't a disorder at all? What if the body is simply remembering the sleep pattern that humans followed for hundreds of thousands of years? For nearly 300,000 years, nighttime wasn't just a period of darkness. It was a time for storytelling, learning, dreaming, reflection, family bonding, and spiritual peace. Fire gave humanity extra hours, and within those hours, language evolved, culture flourished, traditions formed, and civilization slowly emerged. Today, we enjoy electricity, technology, and endless convenience. Yet, in exchange, we may have lost something equally valuable: the deep darkness filled with stars, evenings spent around the campfire, the peaceful rhythm of two-part sleep, and the quiet moments of reflection that shaped countless generations of human beings.